Hey everyone, welcome to the Yoder Homestead channel. I'm Karen. Thanks for joining me today. I am doing my June garden tour and I just wanted to take you through, show you guys what all is growing here at our home and how everything is doing, and just kind of go through some of the varieties that I have in my garden right now, and that includes flowers and food and all of the things. I'm hoping to do 2 tours this month because the summer months everything grows so quick, so if I do one in the beginning of June, well, by the time the end of June rolls around, everything is just like much bigger and probably producing a lot more fruit. So like, I wanted to get one in here. This is the second week of June now, so I wanted to get one in now and then later into the month of June, and then I'll do July and August and September as well. But it's a beautiful day. It's kind of overcast, but it's bright. I have a really high sensitivity to overcast days when the sun is still kind of out because I don't know, I just squint all the time. So I'm sorry if I'm squinting, but it is really bright too. And if you can't tell by my hair, it's very humid here in Ohio. Very, very humid. And I mean, we're used to it, but it's still like when the summer rolls around and the humidity gets really, really high, then yeah, it gets really, really warm to be outside. So I am thankful for our pond down yonder. Makes the really hot days after working on projects outside, you jump in there and then everything is just wonderful. So yeah, let's go ahead and go through my garden and I will show you all the beautiful things. All right, here we go. So right here we have my strawberry bed that is producing lots of delicious fruit. I think we literally every single day since they started producing have come out and have picked fruit. And they are beautiful. I would say they're pretty good size fruits. My daughter loves them. This is the Seascape variety of strawberries. Those are doing really well. Then this bed right here is potatoes. I have red potatoes in this side and yellow potatoes in that side. I think we had a bloom, yes. Right here, they're starting to bloom, which means the tubers are growing under that soil. I think this is from last year. I left it. I was like, well, if you want to grow, then you grow. And here, some more blooms. So that's really exciting for everything to start growing. Those are huge, looking really good. My parsley has gone to seed. I'm gonna let it go, let it reseed itself for next year. It's kind of pretty too. Took a lot off of that this year. My asparagus is doing pretty good. I think I lost 1 plant, but everything else is standing up, looking good. This is the Mary Washington variety. There are some weeds in here. But I think I'm gonna top this with some wood chips. Just do a light layer, add some blood meal first. I've been doing a lot of research on wood chips, and you can use fresh wood chips to do mulching, but you have to add a high nitrogen source before you put the wood chips on top, just so the plants aren't being taken any of the nitrogen that the wood chips pull that doesn't affect the plants. So, and then this right here is milkweed, finally growing. So all of these plants you can see are all milkweed and lots of weeds, but that's okay. And then we have my onions. They're finally doing something. I feel like it took forever until they actually started to grow. I added a layer of compost to the top. That seems to be helping, but we've got a bunch of volunteer cherry tomato plants everywhere in here. They're growing everywhere. And then up here we have tomatoes. Right here we planted tomatoes into wood chips that we put here. This would be going on 3 years now that they've been sitting here and decomposing. We dug holes down to see what the soil looks like, and it looks really good. It looks really black and really dark, so we planted them directly in that, and then we're just gonna see how they grow. They look really good. They have greened up a lot So that makes me excited. I'm just kind of curious if they're actually going to be able to produce fruit. This variety is called pineapple. So I'm kind of curious to see if they actually turn out. They look really, really pretty. So yeah, that's our experiment, seeing how wood chips grow food. And then I'll just take a tour real quick here in front of the house. Some different things that I planted, what I've got going on here. Back in the corner, I started purple echinacea coneflower from seed. It takes really long for them to do anything, so they're finally shooting up leaves a little higher. Some volunteer sunflowers up here along the front, and then these are leftover daffodils, and then I planted iris in the middle of there. You can kind of see the more floofy stems. That's iris. These are stargazer lilies. And then I have creeping phlox that'll look amazing next spring. Planted it this year. Some grasses, some landscape roses. This is called a Mexican sunflower. They're finally putting on some growth. The little ones still don't look like they are, but the dark green makes me excited that they're actually growing. So over here we have some more, right there, and back there. This is a garden mum that I planted and it came back. So we're gonna let it do its thing until fall. I need to trim them a little bit later into the season so that the bloom stalks don't fall over. So I don't know what these are. They get like white and pink pearly little blooms. Then down here, this mum is looking amazing. Oh, there's a butterfly. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, come back. This is cat's pajama nepeta. Planted some petunias along the front. This is dianthus, lavender plant, roses, some more grasses, volunteer sunflowers going up all over the place. Right here I have a little plot of the coneflower again. Back here we have rudbeckia or black-eyed Susans, finally putting on some growth, looking good. Rhododendrons are done blooming. They have lost all of their pretty pink blooms, so now they're green for the rest of the season. I needed some color down here, so back there is another rudbeckia and some more roses. My hydrangeas over here are looking good. I'm kind of curious if they're actually gonna put on blooms this year. The deer ate them last year, so ooh, I have a tiny little bloom going on. That's cool. These are heucherellas. They have really pretty, creamy looking stems. Really pretty. And then over here I've got some hollies, some evergreen plants. I planted this hydrangea, doing really wonderful. It's called a mountain hydrangea. Beautiful color. Dark green leaves with this like pinkish blue flower. They are putting on the blooms. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, then we have a little bloodgood Japanese maple. Some hosta in here. I want to add actually some more hosta to this area around this tree. I still have a couple tulip stems and my mess of stems that I didn't put away when I was trimming all of them, but adding more hosta in here, just different kinds of colors. Variegation would be really pretty because it's a very shady spot. And then driveway hosta are looking really good. So now I'm just gonna jump up here in front of the house real quick yet. I had a couple of flowers that I started from seed that I direct sown, or I didn't start them from seed. I guess I directly put them into the ground here. So these are bachelor's buttons in here. That kind of strandy looking flower right there, right there. Back there we have bee balm. It's growing. I think those are zinnias, some volunteer zinnias. Some beautiful roses. I'm actually going to give these another feeding of fertilizer so they can go ahead and put their second set of blooms on. My peony bushes. This is actually just the second year for my peony bushes, and they bloomed. So I was really pleasantly surprised by that because a lot of people had told me they won't bloom until the third year. So that was really an exciting show to see. Then I also lined the front here with super petunias. And we had problems with slugs and snails, so I forgot to put the stuff down for that, so I went ahead and did that now, and have to just make sure that I watch that. But this is what they do. They eat holes and everything. Uh-oh, I feel like we have budworms too, so I might have to spray for that yet, but we're doing okay. Then my pots down here are pretty much all the same flowers. Just repetitive. Okay, so like I was saying before, I was interrupted again. My husband thinks it's funny that when I'm doing videos to just be like, hey Karen, and just randomly interrupt me. But hey, keeps life interesting. Like I was saying, these pots are all pretty much the same. The sweet potato vine is different in every other one, but they are looking amazing. I just love all the lush green. And then there's gonna be more colors of flowers as soon as the Linaria in the back kind of gets taller. And then the snapdragons are looking good. My little gomphrenias are blooming, looking wonderful. Then, hi Pixel, can you smile to the camera? These ones I finished. I got some lemon coral sedum to put in here just to add a pop of bright colors. Those are gonna go up on the staircase, which I have more pots up there and hanging baskets too. I should go show you those because they have grown tremendously as well. So I'm gonna walk up there real quick and show you guys how those look, because they look amazing right here. These pots, everything is filling in beautifully. I love full pots. That is my jam. Viviana's little pot. I love how the alyssum is sticking out underneath there. Doing good. This hanging basket up here. Actually, I'm gonna stand in here so you can actually see the colors. Wonderful. These have filled out so much. This grass is just beautiful. The next time I would use this grass, I would put it in the middle of the pot and then plant like the flowers around it, but it's looking really good. I really like how these little yellow flowers are gonna spill over the front here. I think I should turn this one a little bit like that. There we go. Yeah, just a little pretty entrance by the doorway. Okay, now for the garden, the food garden, or the other food garden I should say, because I have food in my other raised beds. But I actually did a giveaway for my tomato plants, so that was pretty fun. I had 6 people that got tomato plants for free, and that was really cool just to be able to bless somebody with extra plants that I grew from seed. Pass it along. All right, look at this lush beauty. So wonderful. Oh, so fun. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm gonna start over here. Got our nasturtium, which I have to watch these. They are like, I want them to spill over on this side because my little cucamelon is right there, finally showing its life, and these nasturtium are just taking over. And then this is borage. I've never grown this. I'm kind of excited just to see how I like it. And then I have another pot like that on the other side. This first raised bed. Look at all them beets. So pretty. I don't know, there's something about red beet leaves that just gets me. I just love the red veins. So, okay, up in the front here, I have early wonder beets, and then I have 3 rows of Detroit dark red beets here in the back. This is the straight 8 cucumber, growing beautifully. Over there's another one. So this is gonna climb up this trellis right here. Back here I have cabbage or cauliflower, I'm not sure. One, so either cabbage or cauliflower is in the back of this one or that one, and then vice versa. And then I have some kohlrabi back here. First time growing that. I'm excited to try those. I've heard a lot of good things about them, so I'm excited to try those, see how we like them. This beet here is probably the biggest out of all of them. Right here, I have cosmic purple carrots. They are looking lovely, putting on wonderful growth. And then here I have Oregon sugar pod peas, which they aren't getting to grow very quick. or they are growing very quickly, but I keep eating the little pods because they're so delicious. Yum. But look at all the blooms. More pods, more blooms, more pods. They're just doing wonderful. Climbing up this trellis really wonderfully. I just think it looks so pretty. And then here I have my determinate tomato bed, and I have basil stuck, different varieties of basil stuck in between them. So over here I have Red Pride. That is kind of a sauce slicer tomato. They're really good fresh. And then here I have a Sun Gold cherry tomato. It is a yellow cherry. I'm excited to try that one because I love yellow cherry tomatoes. This is Italian large leaf basil. It smells amazing. And then this variety here, I actually started one from seed like this and then the top broke off or something, but this is called Red Reuben basil. Really pretty. I'm excited for some pesto. And then over here I have Ace 55 tomatoes. They're kind of like the Red Pride. Oh, they're actually a lot similar to each other. Then right here I have a Garden Gem red cherry tomato that is growing up the end of this pole here. And then on this side, these 4 plants are all Roma tomatoes, Italian Romas. I'm excited for those. Lots of delicious sauces in store for us. And then here I have a basil as well. This is actually, let's see, Viva La Dulce blend. So this is a blend. They're all different on this side. So all the basils in this bed are all different, which is kind of fun because I get a variety to choose from when I'm needing some basil. I stuck some marigolds in just to help with aphids, making sure they're not killing my plants. This is Roma as well. This basil is so cute. I just think it's like the cutest little basil plant. And then here I have another Garden Gem red cherry tomato. Over here, I'm gonna swing over. This is my pepper bed and my indeterminate tomatoes. This is a Fuldia pepper. So it's kind of like a jalapeno. So it's a jalapeno, but it does not have the heat of a jalapeno. So I'm excited to try that. We have some blooms coming. Yay! And then here, these pepper plants I started from seed. They're finally putting on more green growth. I just feel like I was not feeding them enough when they were still in their seed trays. So I'm excited to see like all of this new green growth on here. This plant right here is doing wonderful. And then these I actually bought from a nursery. These are banana peppers. So, oh, we actually have a flower. Hello, pretty. And then, so over here I have the California blend, which is green peppers. And then over here I have the sweet pepper blend, which is red, yellow, and orange peppers. These are, oh, what are they called? Tender sweet snap peas on this trellis, which they're actually not made for climbing. I didn't read the package when we were planting them. They're doing okay. I'm getting them to climb. These were planted really close together, and I think that's why they're kind of struggling more to climb up. But I wouldn't plant that many peas again. I mean, it looks really pretty though if you look over there and see that pretty green growth going up there. All right, so here I have 3 beefsteak tomato plants. I actually just trimmed up the bottom stem further. They're doing really good. They look really good. The leaves are healthy. I think my aphid issue has kind of met its match. I've really been watching them and making sure I get them all off and spraying. If I need to, I spray insecticidal soap. So far they're doing really well. They're staying pretty clean. Oh, we actually have a bloom. Oh, well that's exciting. You can see that down in there. Our first indeterminate tomato bloom. And then over here I have Garden Treasure, which is also a indeterminate variety. They're big slicer tomatoes. I don't know about any of you out there that love tomatoes, but I am so excited for my first homegrown tomato sandwich that I grew. I grew up with homegrown tomatoes, living at home when my mom did gardening, and it was always a treat to have fresh garden tomatoes and bread and mayonnaise, and then I put sugar on top. A lot of people give me crap about it because they're like, no, you put salt on top. No, I put sugar on top because it just makes it so much better. So these are doing good. This is the Pesto Besto basil variety, which I want to get, or maybe just cut one off and put them right there. Put some basil in this one as well. And then this is actually another Sun Gold pole cherry tomato. And if you can see down in there, those little yellow blooms, they're putting on their first fruit. That one is doing amazing, by the way. And swing back here. So I figured out what was eating my corn. I have planted these corn beds twice now, and I'm gonna have to do it again. Crows are eating my corn. They pick out the corn stalk and eat the kernel off the end and leave the green part. And I was so frustrated because I'm like, there was no prints of like an animal or anything like that getting in there. And I was like, what is going on? And so finally my husband actually saw them out here, and he saw them plucking out before he got out here to scare them away. I might have to do a scarecrow. I guess scarecrows were made for a reason, and I didn't think about it, but like to keep them away from my corn. And then I actually my mom brought me some metal mesh netting that I can put over the top too, because they don't like to land on things like that. So we're gonna try that. I'm gonna plant it again. I mean, you can see here, some of it did come up and it's, you know, still okay, but I'm gonna go in and fill in the rest of the rows. I have to replant my watermelon seeds. That was stepped on or something. Then here I have like 1, 2, 3 that made it through the crow attack. So yeah, just a note, if you put corn in and you have crows at your property, make sure that you're doing something to keep them from ripping out all of your corn. Okay, so this is sugar baby variety over there, and then I have honey and cream in here. I'm just gonna replant it. I still have enough time, so I'm gonna try and just at least get it in the ground again and put the mesh over and hope that it's enough to keep them away. But up here I have celery. It's finally turning a dark green, which my husband made a good point. And I'm kind of curious now if it has something to do with the celery in the front staying yellow for so long. I put fresh wood chips on the bottom of this in-ground garden, and then I put topsoil on top of that, and then I put compost on top of that, and I mix the compost into the topsoil, and I put more compost on top of that. And he said there might be a possibility that the wood chips in the bottom are pulling the nitrogen all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to top dress this whole bed with compost, and hopefully that helps everything stay green, which the celery is turning green now, but there are still some plants that are really little and they just don't really look that great. But like here, these are finally growing, and I also think I just had them too close together in their seed trays and they just didn't have room to grow. This is cantaloupe right here. I need to redo the other mound because that got torn out as well. So I'm gonna swing around my little herb garden up here as well, and then my green stalk. Right here I have zucchini squash that is coming up beautifully. And then my goal for that is actually to have it climb up the arbor here on this side. Same with the cucamelon. Whenever that actually comes up, I'm gonna have my husband help me and put little sticks or like wire or something along this so they can climb up there. And then over here I have larkspur, which is taking forever to put on any growth. This is just a flower pot. I have some salvia and some dianthus in there, some hyssop, lavender hyssop, and then rosemary. This is actually for teas. I'm gonna try and make my own tea. I found this like amazing tea blend that was a limited time only, of course, and then you fall in love with it and then you can't get it again. So I'm gonna try and make my own because I loved it. It was delicious. I drank it evenings and it was very relaxing. So I'm gonna try and grow my own. So, and then I just have a Cosmos hang basket right there, and then this is my other pot of borage. It's doing really good. These leaves are really fuzzy. They're really cool to touch. And then I've got some chamomile in here along with some rosemary, and that pretty much wraps up the garden right now anyway. I'm gonna replant the corn. I still have pumpkins that I need to get in the ground. But I'm gonna read through and I'm just gonna plant the pumpkins that have the shortest growing period, because I just don't know if I'm gonna have enough room to do a lot of them, and I wanna make sure I still have enough time to do them. So I think I do. I just wanna be sure and at least get some pumpkins, because I wanted to grow my own pumpkins for decorating so I don't have to buy them. Because I buy a lot of them, and I wanted to grow my own pumpkins and just see how it goes. So, oh yeah, the green stalk. Yeah, I can't forget about that beautiful thing, but it's doing wonderful. I still have 3 spots that I need to fill something in. Any suggestions would be appreciated. I thought about just putting like some cosmos in, but those get really big as well. So right here I have a Cherry Falls tomato, and then I have another one on the other side. And these are made to be in hanging baskets or pots. They like to trail over the side of things. I might have to end up getting the tomato platform that Greenstock offers for this so that it's more out to the side, so it's not smothering everything when it's growing down. These are doing wonderful. They're growing like crazy. I actually need to put some more fertilizer in since they've set their blooms. I want to make sure that they're getting enough nutrition to put that stuff on. And if you can see here too, some of the leaves are looking a little too light green for my liking. So I want to make sure I feed them well so that they produce a lot of fruit. This is a red cherry variety. And then I have marigolds. This marigold is going crazy. Like, it's just like huge. I mean, they were all this size and this one is just massive, like just doing its thing. It obviously loves its life right now. Then in this ring, I have some lettuce all the way around, which my idea here was the marigold would create some shade for this lettuce so that it doesn't get quite as hot. Down here, I have English thyme, and all the way around the bottom, I have chives. Then right here, I have some marjoram, doing wonderful, another rosemary plant. And then right here, I have some fennel growing. I actually have some dill. That's a good idea. I have some dill that's pretty big now, so I actually might put dill in here as well. I have tetra dill, and then, what is the other one? Bouquet dill. So I'm gonna put that in there then. And then I only have 2 spaces left. Actually I have 4, my lemon balm didn't come up, so it is what it is. But right here, we have our first tomatoes. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Like my mouth literally waters every time I think of eating a fresh tomato. And then 2, this nasturtium. It's really, really beautiful. And I actually tasted one of the flowers for the first time. And it was very spicy. I did not expect it. I was like, oh my gosh. And it turned out to be really, really spicy. So just a note, if you try nasturtium flowers and you do not like heat, it's a very dry heat. So like it only lasts for like a couple seconds and then it goes away. Kind of caught off guard. I ate some of the petals and they weren't spicy. And then I ate the whole thing and it was very spicy. And I was just like, whew. Wasn't expecting that. I mean, I like spicy things, but I was just like, wow, that's intense. So yeah, if you eat nasturtium flowers, or this variety anyways, this is the Alaska nasturtium. So if you eat those, just a heads up, they are spicy. And then whenever my cucamelon actually grows, it's gonna grow on this side of the arbor. If it grows, if not, I don't know, it's taking forever. Like it just looks teeny tiny. And I'm like, well, you have a long way to go, little buddy, but hey, you never know. But yeah, that is all for my garden right now. This is the 2nd week of June. I'm hoping to do another garden tour at the end of June, just because everything grows so quickly in these summer months. And it's just like, you blink and then another thing is just huge and it's ready to eat and harvest. I'm loving the time right now because I love being able to come out here and snack in the garden. I'm a huge snacker. Kind of gets the best of me sometimes, but I am excited to eat fresh things out of the garden. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Thanks for joining me for another garden tour. I hope you all have a blessed day and I will see you next time. Bye.